Shalom. Today we're going to learn Hashkafas HaTorah, some Jewish philosophy. We're familiar with the idea of sanctifying God's name and desecrating God's name, chilul Hashem and kiddush Hashem. And we know that in halacha, when we discuss these topics, they're usually a situation, a rare situation, where a Gentile will put a gun to our head and say that we have to violate the Torah, and if we don't violate the Torah, he's going to pull the trigger. And then we have to make a decision, and if it's one of the 610 mitzvot that are most common, so then we say, well, violate the Torah because we know that we should live and not die by the Torah. And if it's one of the three prohibitions of murder, sexual indiscretions, or idolatry, then we know that we have to die instead of violating. But there's another form of desecrating and sanctifying God's name, and that is as representatives of the Jewish people, which we all are, whether we wear a kippah on our head in public or a chai necklace or we don't. We're all Jewish, and therefore eventually it comes out that we're Jewish. Our actions represent the Torah and they represent God. And therefore, if we do something untoward, if we do something that the society looks down upon, I'm not just saying something major like a criminal act, but even coughing and in public and not covering your face, something that the world looks down upon, something that's not a refined behavior, that too desecrates God's name. And the opposite is true as well. If, as a Jew, we go ahead and help somebody cross the street or help somebody with their groceries, and then we're representing God when we do that, and people come to say, well, if that's how the Jewish people, if that's how God's people act, I want to be just like them. That's sanctifying God's name. So we find that in Jewish philosophy, outside of halacha, of sanctifying God's name and desecrating God's name, we have other cases where we have the opportunity to sanctify God's name by acting in a refined manner, and unfortunately desecrating God's name by acting in an unrefined manner. Shalom.